Hey, we're live. I think it's just gonna always do that weird little glitch. I don't think I have a way around it.
It adds character.
There was no glitch. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I just closed my eyes briefly, and it was seamless.
All right, well, I appreciate everybody tolerating my ineptitude with technical things.
No way.
Hey everyone, we're here for episode 4 of our Tiny Cthulhu campaign, Yukon Dark. I don't have any announcements this week, I think, other than we are still running our Kickstarter for Blue Planet Recontact, which you can find on Kickstarter right now, and you can check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I think we'll just hand it right over to Madi as the GM.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Maddie Murdoch. I am GM for our awesome campaign, Yukon Dark. This is episode 4, so we're about a third of the way through our 12-episode mini-series, and I am super excited because we found a ton of clues last time, and we're about to find a ton more today, hopefully. All right, so before we jump into our game, let's go ahead and have everyone introduce themselves. So I usually just start in the left-hand corner and then just kind of go around. So we'll start with Alan and then go clockwise around.
Cool. I'm Alan Bahr from Gallant Knight Games. Yeah, that's me.
Hi, Alan.
Hi.
Do you want to introduce your character too? Sorry,
No,
I should have said
it's a
that.
mystery.
Mystery.
He doesn't even know his character at this point. Finding new things out every
Wait, I
time.
have a character? I'm playing Jameson Moore, the sled dog, musher, messenger, errand boy for all sorts of little towns in the Yukon. And by errand boy, I mean a grizzled veteran who is tired of everybody's crap. Just wants to slip away from the demon birds.
Awesome. Okay, we'll go over to Gina.
Okay, I'm Gina. I am a real person. And I am also a little pretend person on Tiny Cthulhu. I play Katie McGraw, who is a mystic, kind of newly discovered mystic. But by day and by trade, she is a fur trapper and trader. And probably today I'll be playing Edgar, who is Katie's familiar, who is her raven buddy that she's had for forever because Katie's indisposed. Maddie will probably tell us.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a second. Awesome. Let's go over to Ryan.
Hey, everybody. My name is Ryan. You might know me from doing this stream, from doing some other live streaming on YouTube as part of Man vs. Meeple. So yeah, if you don't know who we are by now for our characters, you're probably going to be really confused when we jump in because things have just gotten absolutely crazy. So Blue-Eyed Bailey, my character, is kind of a financier, banker / con man who's always looking for a way into people's pockets or whatever, trying to find all their secrets. And there are a lot of secrets in this town, and we've started to uncover a lot of them. So hopefully we can get you caught up to speed if you've not seen the first 3, but I imagine that we're going to have a lot of twists tonight.
Definitely. All right, let's go to Ashley.
My name is Ashley. I'm definitely also a very real person. Gina, I was like, that sounds like something a not real person would say.
Do we need to clarify that? Like,
right. I didn't know we needed to, but she started, and I was like, well, I need to specify that I'm a real person. So,
I would like all of you human meatbags to know I too am stacked fairly potable water.
Mm-hmm. Completely human, yes.
Please let me enjoy this human beverage.
Yes. Yeah, so I like playing games and sharing them with people, and in this particular campaign I play Molly McGee, who is a new money dilettante who wants to stay alive, really is kind of my main goal. And sane, I guess I should say that too. But
Awesome. Well, thanks, Ashley. I'm again just Maddie Murdoch. I'm the GM. I am not a real person though, because as GM, I have ultimate power. So, just to give a little recap for where we are so far. Last time in Yukon Dark, our characters had a little bit of some trouble. Well, maybe we can put it that way first. Let's start with Katie. Katie specifically got a major clue, and she was actually able to get that clue by using some of her mystical powers that she's kind of starting to discover. Unfortunately, that also caused her to lose some corruption points, or she chose not to lose corruption points and instead decided to make her character kind of go insane because she came face to face with this very bizarre truth that just didn't fit with her idea of reality. What she witnessed was she witnessed the last few moments of someone's life through their eyes. And this person, who we learned last week was Luke's the miner, somehow got taken up into the sky and was trying to grab at Queasy Martin and lost a finger as Queasy Martin bit him off of him as he was trying to get away. Mm-hmm. So Katie chose to, or Gina chose to have her character kind of just come face to face with that reality of seeing through some dead person's eyes. And so that kind of caused her to go crazy. And according to the Tiny Cthulhu rules, if you choose to not lose a corruption point, you can choose to roll a d6 and you lose control of your character for that many days. So Gina has lost control of Katie for 4 days. And in the meantime, we'll be playing Katie's familiar Edgar, which will be delightful. And we'll also kind of talk about specifically what's happening to Katie as we kind of unfold the story for today. The other major thing that happened last time is that you were all very excited to see your first maybe creepy ritual from people that you assume are maybe cultists, and then it didn't go quite to plan because someone decided to burn down the church and kidnap the geologist. So that's kind of where we're at. We ended up with this person kidnapping the geologist, getting on a horse, riding up into the mountains. So we're going to pick up right where we left off, right there. So Jameson said he was in the saloon with the sheriff. Mm-hmm. Blue-Eyed Bailey witnessed the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And Molly McGee as well.
Yes, and Molly McGee also had a front row seat to this whole thing because she was inside of the church as it was burning down. Okay, and then Katie is currently in the hotel, kind of in a comatose state for a moment. But Edgar is with
Jameson,
that's right. Okay, so that's where we're at. So we're going to start with Bailey and Molly. You are in the street. You are running down Main Street, and someone just got on a horse and rode off with the geologist. What do you do?
I mean, I'm pretty sure. So Bailey only really has one response to Molly, which is a WTF moment of like looking over her and like looking at this guy, like what is happening?
Just back and forth, like.
So first of all, this is what's going on, and like I'll probably say some of this to Molly, but no one really knew that this geologist was supposed to be here. She wasn't supposed to be here. Her dad was supposed to be here, but yet this guy still took her, like as if he was like targeting her. So I'll say to Molly, like why her? She wasn't even supposed to be here today. Yeah, like so
she doesn't even go here.
Right? She doesn't even go here.
Yeah.
So it almost seemed like this was maybe a distraction just to get to her, or maybe he was trying to kill her in the fire. And when that failed, he stole her instead. So I don't know, Molly. This is crazy.
Yeah, I think that we obviously are not going to be able to chase him down on his horse by foot. Way. So I think it's too bad that Katie is taking a long nap right now because she's very familiar with mountains. And two, I think that if anyone were going to be able to get up there, it would be Jameson and his dogs. Mm-hmm. So I think we should probably go and explain really quickly what happened to Jameson, and hopefully we can maybe go after her.
Yeah, before we do that, maybe we should see about the fire that's probably burning out of control.
That might be a good idea. Are there people already doing that, or
as you kind of turn around and look, there are definitely people kind of running toward the church with buckets of water from the river nearby, trying to put it out. You see Barden, who is the town mayor. He is just kind of like watching people put the fire out. The priest is pacing back and forth, just like, oh no, oh my gosh, my church is on fire. What do I do? And then you have Mr. Riggs and Mr. Frank, who were also in the church at the time. Mr. Riggs is just kind of saying, like, who was that? He's talking to Mr. Frank, kind of saying, like, what just happened? I don't know. You know, they're just trying to kind of just come to terms with the thing that just unfolded.
Okay. So it's a theme right now, like out of character. It's a theme with my campaigns to have things on fire, because in my other campaign, the town, we accidentally set it on fire, and I had to put it out by creating water as the cleric. I just had to create water everywhere. I can't do that right now, though. So I stand by the decision to go and get Jameson.
Okay. Because it does look like there are a few people starting to kind of come out of the woodwork, come out of the hotel, come up from the camp to hopefully take care of it.
Yeah, let's quietly slip away into the shadows. And I'm Jameson. Well, let's wait, because there's a really good chance that the commotion is probably drawing Jameson and Edgar out anyway. But if not, we'll see them at the bar.
I still think we should at least go and poke our head in.
Let's head that direction and see if we run into him. Yeah,
because Jameson is never really quick to leave the saloon.
That's
when
fair.
there's commotion outside. He usually hangs out in there. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, as you're headed over, we're gonna hop over to Jameson. Jameson, you're in the bar the whole time, right? While everyone else was in the church doing this ritual thing that you decided to, you know, kind of not participate in, as you were going to distract the sheriff or whatever. The sheriff has just kind of been talking to you, asking you questions specifically about how well you know Barden.
Don't.
Not at all. And she kind of is asking you questions as if she is almost asking whether or not you are loyal to Barden. But she doesn't quite say that. She's just kind of like, well, if you had to pick a side, would you pick Barden's side?
Why am I picking sides?
She's like, this is hypothetical. You know, just if there was a fist fight, would you back Barden?
Who's he fighting? If it's me, I back me.
It's not fighting you.
Oh.
He's fighting. Let's say Mr. Riggs. He's fighting Mr. Riggs.
Why would he fight Riggs?
And she gets a little frustrated that her questions are not being.
Oh,
he's barking up the wrong tree here.
Yeah,
if she pushes, I'll be like, I'll set my drink down and kind of turn and look at her. I need you to understand that without full context as to the moral and ethical imperative of why this violence is outbreaking, it is hard for me to make a hypothetical call to judgment that would assuage any sort of moral concerns I might have as to where I'll lay my allegiance towards people in this town.
And she says, that is a good point. And I'm glad that you have those morals, Jameson.
Yep.
That's kind of what I'm wondering about. And she says, I was asked by Barden to protect this town. And I'm starting to feel like he's not making that very easy for me to do.
You think Barden threw the man out of the sky?
And she's like, oh, I don't know anything about that. I'm talking about money.
About what?
About money. You see, I thought Barden was up here trying to make a fortune, but also, you know, help other people make a fortune. But it doesn't seem like he's really willing to part with his money as far as it goes to other people.
Isn't that how rich people get rich?
Well, you see, I thought he was a little bit more philanthropic than that.
Uh-huh.
He promised me that he'd pay me a good paycheck to keep the peace, which is fine. He's been doing that. And he's promised a few other people that as well. But it seems like he's also not doing that for the miners, though. I've been hearing that the miners that are signed up with him in the contract to dig in the mine haven't been paid in about a month. He just gives them, you know, meal tickets and whatnot for Riggs's shop and some other, you know, extra supplies, but he doesn't actually pay them.
Look, Sheriff, you seem like a relatively nice person. I don't live in town here, and I don't tend to stay in the same town for terribly long. So the only kind of ruckus I like to get involved in is the sort of ruckus that happens after I'm gone and I don't have to be involved in.
She says, I see. Well, then I guess I can't depend on you for some support in case things go south in the town.
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying it's got to be the right support for the right cause.
She says, I see. Well, once I find a little more evidence for this cause, maybe it will change your mind.
I mean, you want me to shoot Barden?
She's like, no, I don't want anyone
$100.
Anybody. She's like, don't you go talking like that around me. I might put you in jail.
I just laugh at that.
Okay, just about now, that's when people kind of start coming in and saying, hey, the church is on fire. And the sheriff jumps up and runs out to see what the commotion's all about.
I look at the most people at church they've had in months.
So, Jameson, are you worried at all? I mean, your friends were in and near the church pretty recently.
Yeah, but I also know that if I just rush out with the crowd, I'm likely to miss my friends. So I'm gonna take a beat, let everybody kind of get out of my way, so I can get a good survey of the area in front of me.
Okay. And are you talking about outside in the street?
Yeah. So if everybody's rushing out of the bar, I'll just like take a beat, take a drink, kind of let the dust settle for a minute, and then walk out into the street.
Okay.
My takeaway from this is that Jameson just called us all his friends.
Aww.
It was a private monologue.
Edgar heard.
Edgar
Bird.
did hear it.
That bird ruins everything.
All right,
So
Jameson.
if he's out in the street, we'd probably see him on our way back then.
Yes, so you see Jameson come out of the saloon. Edgar, you're still perched on Jameson's shoulder. As far as you can tell, right? It's dark now. The sun set a little while ago. The church is totally ablaze. It is going up like like a pine tree in a drought, right? People are really trying to make sure that it doesn't spread to the other buildings. Trying to be really careful. You see the doctor in particular. The doctor's running around in circles trying to tell people to make sure that his office, his little doctor's office, doesn't burn down because it's right next to the church. And the sheriff again kind of runs out there and tries to take control of the situation. All right, what do the three of you do? And Edgar, the three of you and Edgar do.
Well, I mean, tell Jameson obviously what happened. Like, this wasn't an accident. They stole the geologist.
Wait.
Yeah.
They stole the geologist?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How do you steal a geologist?
Pick her up, tie her to a horse, and ride off into the woods.
Kidnap. The word you're looking for is kidnap.
Kidnap.
There's been a geologist napping.
She's a human being.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we should let somebody just ride off with the preeminent scientist in town. It seems like a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we were not catching them on foot. There's no way.
Is there a horse nearby?
There's a horse stable around the corner.
Great. I go take a horse.
You go to steal
You
it.
would know Katie has a horse.
I'll
Katie
take
does have a
Katie's.
horse in the
Well, let's
Katie.
go
I'll
then.
take Katie's horse.
Katie's horse, Emily. Just
I'm not.
so
Maybe.
you know.
Name is Emily.
The horse's name is Emily.
Okay. Well, I'm good with animals, so I'll just grab Emily.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, I'm not gonna let Jameson ride off into the dark woods alone. Like, if there's horses, we'll take them. There's enough commotion. Maybe they won't recognize or realize they're gone right away.
Okay.
Are there only 2 horses, or are there more than that?
There are more than that.
Okay. I was gonna offer to let Bailey ride behind me. I figure Molly can handle it.
There are enough horses, but as you're kind of running toward in the direction of the stables, all three of you notice that Katie has come out of the hotel.
Oh, she's awake.
Now, how we're going to play this is Gina has lost control of her character for 4 days. So I'm going to be controlling her character
Uh-oh.
for the next 4 days.
That's awesome.
And I'm going to be telling everyone kind of what Gina is experiencing as she experiences it. But of course, that's going to be player knowledge and not character knowledge unless Edgar can figure out a way to communicate that to everyone.
Cool.
Okay.
Put a pencil in his beak.
Yep. He'll need to learn his alphabet first.
Well, if you want me to shoot her, be a bird.
So we won't notice the difference, obviously. So, you know, it's like
her eyes aren't glowing like green or something, are they?
No.
Or they're like black.
right. She's not like zombie
Drippy
her way
stuff
out,
or anything
right?
like that.
Crying
Right.
blood or something weird.
Yeah.
No, as far as you can
Awesome.
tell, Katie looks normal. She just looks a little dazed. Like she doesn't exactly know what happened. She woke up out of a very, very deep sleep and she's just kind of suddenly realizing, oh, the town's on fire.
This
What's
is great.
going on?
She knows the mountains better, these mountains better than any of us.
Mm-hmm. Is she
So
too
it's-
dazed to get on a horse and come with us?
Well, I don't know. Let's Katie.
And
see
as you're
how
talking
she
to her,
responds.
she seems to understand you, but she's not talking. She just kind of nods and then walks over with you to the stable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. She's here at least.
I mean, when I wake up, if I haven't
did
had my
she-
coffee, I don't talk a lot either. So
That's
I get it.
Fair.
So she doesn't need to talk to Ride.
She's dealing with a wicked hangover, I think.
Yeah.
Now, Edgar, you see Katie, and this is exciting for you because you haven't been without Katie for a long time. Suddenly she went into some type of comatose state and you had to leave her side, and now she's back.
Yeah. Edgar would fly over to Katie, like super excitedly land at her feet and just like it's like friendly pecking at her boots. Like, I'm so excited to see you. Peck, 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 peck. Flap, flap, flap. Oh my God, I never thought I'd flap in the character that I'm flapping on camera. That was super cool. I know. It looked badass though, right, guys? It was
Yes.
Totally.
It does.
Yes.
It totally didn't look dorky or weird. Nope,
No,
you're good.
not at all.
I know. It's like, oh shoot, I'm flapping.
So Edgar doesn't seem to think that there's something wrong, right?
Yeah.
Just Edgar
Not
just
yet,
flew over
anyway.
there and
So, Edgar, you feel like there's some type of wall between you and Katie. You can't really hear her thoughts. You can kind of hear
Okay.
what appear to be, or at least that they feel to be intention. So you can like tell what she intends to do, but you really don't hear any words or any like real clear images like you usually have in your telepathic link. So it kind of feels like maybe she's still asleep, even though
Okay.
she's walking.
I think Edgar's going to make like some sort of sadder croaking noises, like just like he calms down a little bit, but it's more protective. So not quite knowing what the heck's going on, but knowing she's still sick or hurt or something's up, but not anything scary necessarily.
Okay, excellent. All right, so Katie kind of like puts her arm out, her shoulder out, as she usually does for Edgar to come perch on her shoulder, and she just goes along with you to the stable. All right, so I'm assuming you're letting Katie take her horse, and the rest of you are stealing horses. Is that right?
is it snowing? I mean, does Jameson, you want to take your sled, or is this not the right weather?
How much snow is there?
It's not snowing currently, but definitely once you get up into the trees, there's snow up on the mountain.
I mean, it'll be kind of a pain to get the sled up into the trees to begin with. So I think we're just taking horses this time.
I feel like by the time we get there and back, it'll be fast enough that no one's going to miss it with all the commotion. I think we're okay.
I mean, I'm fine with it. We can borrow whatever we need. We're doing it for the town, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Bailey's probably a little frustrated that Katie won't respond because Bailey's a talker. But he's like, Katie, like, you know, this person, like, try to describe this person to Katie, like, trying to get some kind of response from her is like, do you know who this person is? Katie. He looked like he came from the mountains. He looks like he lives out in the mountains. He was very tall, very weird looking guy. I don't know how good of a look we got at him, other than like he was very tall. You said, right?
Yes. Notice he was very tall. He looked like he was dressed like a frontiersman, so outdoor clothes. You didn't really get a good look at his face because it was kind of dark, although you did see just kind of a little bit of the side of his face when he was holding the torch. So he had a beard. You could tell maybe he had like a scar running down his face, which is always a good sign in an NPC, right?
But she's obviously not responding, right?
Yeah, Katie, she kind of looks at you, Bailey, as if she recognizes what you're saying and kind of understands. But she just kind of like nods and then just kind of goes back to getting her horse all saddled up.
All right, well, that didn't work.
Okay, ask if you recognize this person, nod once. If you do not, shake your head once.
Okay, and Katie nods.
Just once or lots?
She nods just once.
Okay, cool. So she
does know them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know where we can find them?
Edgar, as you kind of see Katie responding to this, you remember that Katie does know somewhat of that description. That's actually a person that usually is hired as a guide out in these parts. He was a fur trapper for a while, but then came into money suddenly, randomly, and just kind of stopped doing that. Just started doing just kind of extra sort of freelance guiding just for fun more than anything. Okay.
So when Bailey asks him, your first name's Wilson, right? Wilson, blue-eyed Bailey?
Conrad.
Conrad.
Right? Is that what I said? Oh, Wilson Conrad. I'm sorry. Yes, both.
Ooh, you got fancified names. When you're asking and she's nodding like, yes, that she knows, Edgar gives kind of an excited sort of shrill call, like, we know that guy. We totally know that guy.
Well, maybe Edgar, you could lead the way to him.
Oh.
I have no idea if Edgar heard that or understood that, but I'm going to hope that maybe, like, if Edgar flies off, we will follow him at any point.
Since we seem to be kind of able to communicate with Katie and kind of communicate back, just say to her, if you know where this person is, can you lead us to where this person hangs out?
So Katie knows that Edgar kind of remembers where that would be. It's definitely up on the hill, up the mountain, kind of nearby where her own cabin is. But Edgar could probably lead you there quite easily. It's just dark outside, so you'll have to be very careful in the dark in the woods on horses.
To follow the blackbird that's flying. Yes.
Right.
It's gonna be really
Great
easy.
idea. Can we put some highlighter on this bird?
Just get like a little bit of glow sticks.
Yeah.
Glow sticks on his. He's a raven. He's
a raven. Okay. Well, all four of you managed to settle up. I am going to ask though, how many of you are good on a horse?
I feel like I would be because I am from a farm, so I think I probably rode a horse a lot.
Yeah, I mean, back then, like, Bailey's family would have owned horses, like, so he might not be great at them, but he's probably familiar enough to ride.
Okay. Excellent. How about you, Jameson?
I mostly get pulled by animals.
So this horse thing might be a little difficult.
I mean, I'm good with animals and they tend to like me, so I don't imagine I'll have trouble, but it's not my forte.
Okay. And I'm asking because I wanted to know who's going to take point.
Oh, that'll be me. I am the tracker, so
yeah.
Okay.
I'll be at the front regardless.
Excellent.
Yeah, and we'll just match pace with Jameson's horse.
Okay. So let's go ahead and have Jameson roll for tracking to see if he can find some kind of trail in the dark. So it's going to be a little difficult. So
are you assigning me disadvantage?
I am going to give you disadvantage, unfortunately.
All right.
It is pitch black outside.
And that's fair, I think, in the circumstances.
Yeah. She's trying to break it to you very gently, explaining why before she gets to the bad news.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You don't find anything? Okay. So Jameson can't find a trail.
Well, we know kind of which direction he went, so like if we just keep going in that direction without a trail, maybe we'll eventually hit something.
I mean, do I know where Katie's cabin is?
You do know where Katie's cabin is.
Let's just go there and start from there.
Okay.
I mean, if he's close to Katie's cabin, right? Close being a relative term in the Yukon, I suppose.
I mean, at least that gives us a good home base kind of to start. Yeah.
It's
I think
roughly
that's
the
a
right
good idea.
direction. So let's just go to Katie's cabin.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it.
All right. It's going to take a couple hours to get up there just on a good, bright,
Right.
sunny day. And so it's going to take about twice that long to do in the dark, even though you know the way.
Now,
So
hang on. And I turn to Bailey and McGee. He rode by and scooped up the geologist and just deposited her on a horse.
Yep. He grabbed her, ran with her, put her on a horse, and rode off.
I mean, was she struggling?
Was she, Marty? Was she screaming or anything?
I think
she was screaming in shock
Yeah.
because
That's okay,
this she was being kidnapped, right? Like that was
Yeah.
scary.
Yes.
This was not like her boyfriend picking her up after church. This seemed a lot more hostile.
Sure.
And consider the fact that she said she knows no one up here.
Yeah.
I really don't believe this is somebody
So-
that she knew.
I'm taking a step back here.
Mhm.
It would be mighty hard to carry an unwilling person on a horse ride through a forest in the snow at night.
He was really big. He was
really big. He was a big guy.
Was he as
Really?
big as a horse?
twice the
hor-
size.
And
I
the
don't
horse
know. He was just very big, though.
he was a very big person.
Yes.
I don't.
And he seemed very comfortable. He was comfortable on his horse. He was comfortable riding where he was going. So he also had
That's
kind
true.
of a home field advantage, too.
I mean, it's possible that he didn't go very far, but
I'm just
How
thinking
many
he might not
caves?
be moving that fast, right?
Mhm.
well, he might not be.
So I'm gonna whistle for Aurora, my dog.
Okay.
Mm.
Will be better at following a scent than I am,
Smart.
Mhm.
That's
and we'll just kind of get her going with this. Follow her.
Excellent.
Did you guys tell
We haven't told anybody.
he also was the one that started the fire in the church, or did you just tell him?
yeah, we would have said that, mentioned that.
I figured.
I can't believe we wouldn't have left that detail out. I mean, we're probably a little
Yeah.
more focused on the kidnapping than the fire, but see, like
Mhm.
the way that I see it, at least, is the fire was a distraction to get to her, but it might not. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe
Or
it
to
was-
get her, I don't know. She was in the church with Molly, right?
right.
Mhm.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe he only was trying to kill her, and when he saw her leave the church, he actually went into the church to get her, didn't he? Or was it as she
No.
came out?
As
No,
came
she ran out with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know. Maybe this is a friend of her dad's trying to bring her back, like for a ransom or something. I have no idea.
He's
a
always
nice-
working the angle, Jameson.
It's a nice friendly thing to do. I'm gonna, as a friend, kidnap your daughter and charge a ransom. That sounds good.
It happens.
Yeah. It's a frontier. Yes.
Okay. So, as you're all kind of going through the woods in the dark, let's go ahead and have Jameson roll for his just animal handling to see if Aurora can find anything.
Sure.
Pick up a trail, perhaps.
Standard test.
Yeah, let's just do a standard test.
Okay. I am successful.
Okay, so it does seem like Aurora was able to pick up the scent of the horse
Okay.
from the footsteps that you see going off into the
Nice.
woods, and so
Right.
she kind of has a little bit of a sense of where she's going.
We will go as fast as we can go safe.
Okay, So I'm not going to make anyone roll anything dangerous because you're not going like at a breakneck speed, right? You're just going carefully through the woods. Okay. You do notice as you're going that it is very cold, and so cold that you all kind of wish that you had bundled up before you just took off into the woods. I mean,
Colder than
naturally, I'm
normal?
sure, yeah, it is colder than normal. I'm sure those of you like Jameson and Katie, right, you already have outdoors clothes on all the time because you spend the majority of your time outdoors.
Right.
But maybe Molly and Bailey, like you maybe have a coat on, but you weren't really planning on like trekking outside in the wintertime.
I mean, that's true. Like, I mean, we definitely dress warm enough to stand outside of a church, but not warm enough to necessarily be out in the freezing forest.
Yeah, and I was in the church, so there's a good chance that I didn't think like, oh, we're on fire. Let me grab my coat before I, run out.
And for what sounded like a party.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So, is Molly not wearing a coat?
I don't want to say that. But...
I'll leave that up to her.
Okay, but like, so if that was the case, I think we would have noticed before. So if there was anything we could have grabbed at the stable, like a blanket or anything, probably to throw over your shoulders, we would have if we had noticed.
That's true. Yeah.
Now that we're thinking about it, after the fact.
Yeah. I probably had like a blanket over, like a saddle blanket or something over my shoulders.
I will say we were trying to rescue somebody who was kidnapped. We might not have thought.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying up to Molly. Like, I don't know at what point Molly would have been like, dang, it's really cold. I don't have my jacket on.
It's down the street, though, from the hotel and the saloon. So it would not have surprised me if you at least had like a nice coat on.
I guess my question is, does Jameson need to give you his coat? If the answer is no, you don't have a coat, he will give you his coat. If the answer is you have a blanket or something, he will keep his coat.
I think I definitely don't have my coat, but I think I probably was cold. I would have at least thought like, hey, I'm cold. Let me grab something warm to put it on. So I probably have one of the like stable blankets or something.
If you get too cold, just cuddle the sled dog.
Okay.
Just
perfect.
Body heat the sled dog.
Yeah, that's what dogs are for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're like, they're really warm.
Like wrap it in a blanket for a minute.
The reason that I'm asking is obviously because we are about to use these awesome environmental traits from Tiny Cthulhu. And cold is one of the environmental traits, right?
Oh,
so
no.
Wasted on my old card.
Quite literally this entire 12-game series.
I mean, we're in the Yukon, so we might as well use them, right?
I'll just be there, he said. It'll be fun, he said.
Okay, so we're going to use the cold environmental trait, which specifically says without proper clothing, a character must make a save test each hour or suffer 1 damage. So we already said it's going to take about 4 hours to get into the area of Katie's cabin. So let's have everyone just, if you feel like your character is just probably not prepared for the weather, have you roll some save tests.
Okay.
Do you want to roll for Katie or Molly?
I'm going to take care of Katie.
Oh no!
Behind the scenes.
Is this just normal 2 dice?
Yep, it's just a save.
No disadvantage.
I failed my first one.
Okay, all right, so hang on. If I see Molly fail her first one, I will give her my coat, and I will take the test on the second half, and we'll trade back. So we each only have to take 2 tests.
I also failed my first test.
You don't get a coat.
That's fine.
No.
So I need to make 2 tests, huh?
And the second one I passed.
I did too.
Okay. Awesome.
I passed both of mine.
All right. Jameson, you're used to being outside, so you're like, whatever.
Nice.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So if you fail, right, you take a damage of hit points off your hit points.
Okay.
So it is getting pretty cold. It's not snowing, but like I said, it's pretty icy. There is definitely a wind whistling through the trees. Also, you can see that there is no cloud cover. It is a bright, starry sky. So all of the cold is just coming straight down out of space right on top of you. Now, Aurora is definitely getting you through the trees, and eventually, about 4 hours later, you finally come to what appears to be some sort of clearing, and there is actually a light on inside of Katie's cabin. And when I say light on, obviously it's like a candle.
The cabin's not like on fire.
No, it's not on fire.
Not again.
There is a candle inside of Katie's
That's
cabin.
weird. Why is there a candle inside of her cabin?
That's a good question. And candles
right.
don't last forever, so.
So I assume the wood
that's
stop
true.
and there's a little bit of a clearing before the cabin.
Yep, there's a little glen, and there's a cabin in the glen.
We will stop at the edge of the woods. And then I will like sneak up to the window and look in.
Okay.
Smart.
Right. Let's go ahead and have you roll for a stealth roll.
How about we just say I did it? Is that cool?
Does that mean you didn't
That's
make
exactly how it works.
Sounds like someone who failed their test.
Hang on. Well, I haven't rolled yet. I just was trying to get
okay.
it in advance.
Okay.
Roll. Oh, I actually passed. Never mind.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So, Jameson, you're able to very quietly come up to the window.
Okay.
And
No way.
inside, you've never actually really been to Katie's cabin. Like, you knew where it was because you've been in the area, right? Because there's actually a really nice kind of hunting trail that goes up into the
Sure.
woods that a lot of the, frontiersmen use.
Right.
This is just a small one-room cabin that generally has been built large enough to house about 3 or 4 people, because Katie does have family that kind of lives up here. But right now, this time of year, most of those family members aren't up here because it's too cold and there's not much going on. So it should be empty if Katie's not in it. As you look in, you see that there is most definitely the geologist sitting in what appears to be some type of kind of makeshift chair / log
Sure.
by what appears to be a fireplace. There's a small, very, very small fire, and you also see what appears to be the very large man, as described by Bailey and Molly, kind of sitting on a bunk bed over against the wall. And he is kind of ruffling through something in his lap. It looks to you kind of maybe like either a book or a stack of papers or something like that.
Okay.
You're not sure.
All right. So I'll like, can I like go back to the group? They're in there.
What? Why are they in there?
I don't know. I'm not a kidnapper.
I mean, why would they? Unless they just happen to find this random
He's
cabin. I mean,
looking through papers of Katie's or something.
Katie, he's looking through your papers.
Katie just kind of nods.
Oh, you expected him to be in there looking for your papers?
She doesn't really respond to that.
I'm a mind uncomfortable with her sudden muteness.
I know. It's
Yeah.
What's happening?
I'm not loving what's happening right now.
Uh-huh. All right. Here's what we're going to do. Nobody jump in with a better plan.
Okay.
All right. So I guess Bailey watch Katie. Make sure she don't do nothing untoward or dumb or something. I don't know.
I mean,
Just stop her from like pulling a gun on us or something.
sure, leave me the creepy job.
I'm sorry. Would you like to confront the large man who kidnaps people from horseback?
Mhm.
Fair. I swear, if she starts flying into the air, I'm running.
You know what? Just holler so we hear and we can run too. Miss McGee, you got your gun?
I do. Yes.
Cool.
Don't have a coat. Still have my gun. So that's in my
Priorities.
magical
all
muff
about.
of holding.
So you have your muff.
I do. I have my muff. Yes.
Your muff
Well, because
of
that's like around the neck, you know.
Sawed-off
Yeah.
shotguns inside your muff.
Yes. Yes.
We're gonna not execute Jaredaf's plan, although I do like it. This is like a Cthulhu game,
That is a very.
and my
Jameson.
heart tells me shoot anybody who can read. Me and Molly are gonna sneak up to the cabin to make sure it's like safe, and then if it is, we'll motion Katie and Bailey forward.
Okay.
So, wow.
Do we need to roll stealth again, or?
I'm just gonna go through the front door.
You're just gonna walk in.
Wait, I have my gun out.
Okay.
I mean, this is a cat. Like, yeah. I mean,
There's
walk
no
in like you
trap.
own it.
Yeah. Check for traps. Hello. We don't have a rogue.
Check for traps.
I'm not sure he had time to set me.
All right, so I'll just walk in with my gun pointed at him.
Okay. All right. So front door doesn't lock. It's just, just barely a door. So you just walk in and have your gun pointed at him. And he looks up at you and just says, "Good evening."
Evening. Hey,
And
Doc, you okay?
the geologist kind of like swivels in her chair and says, Oh, I didn't expect to see you up here. I am so glad that you're here. This is Mr. Curtis."
Uh-huh. Are you okay?
Yes. She says, "Oh, I'm fine. A little a little shaken up. I wasn't expecting this adventure." And she looks quite like disheveled, like she was thrown on the side of a horse and ran up the mountain. So her hair is just kind of all over the place.
In a word, Doc, would you call yourself kidnapped?
And she says, you know what? I would not use that word.
All right.
I probably would not use that word. And she kind of like looks at Curtis and she says, "Yes, that's a little bit too harsh of a word." And Curtis stands up and he sets the papers that he was kind of looking at down. And he says, "I'm just here on her father's business."
Well, look, Bailey knows something.
Show off.
I'm not even in the room, so.
All right. So I guess I ain't needing to effect a rescue.
And the doctor says, "Oh, but that was really kind of you. I am so glad to see you up here."
It seems to be safe. And I'll like step to the side and let Molly in and kind of motion for Bailey.
Yeah, I will bring Katie in, and I'm assuming Edgar's around.
I'm gonna like find a spot to sit where there's a table, and I'm gonna put my pistol on the table so it's within easy reach if Curtis does something I don't like.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna walk in cautiously, this seemed to go a little too smoothly for Jameson to be, letting us in already.
And I walk over to Dr.
Whitaker.
Yep, that I was like Berenstain. That's not the right word.
Berenstain.
I don't even know. That's like, yeah. I'm sorry. Yes. So I walk over to her and just kind of like give her a look. Like, "Are you okay? Like, are you really okay?" And I try and be covert about it while Curtis is talking to Jameson.
Okay. She looks fine, just a little shaken. More than anything, though, she looks embarrassed. Like really, really embarrassed that you all ran up the mountain to go save her.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we watched him. Like, why wouldn't we do this?
Yeah.
You were screaming.
Like, I saw him grab you and put you on a horse and ride up the mountain with it. So, what's going on?
Now, wait a minute. Why are you in Katie's cabin?
And Curtis kind of looks at you and says, "I don't know any of you well enough to be answering those types of questions."
But this is her cabin, Katie.
She's literally here.
Katie just kind of like looks around and she goes and she like looks at the papers that Curtis had left on the bed and she just kind of knocks them off of the bed and then lays down in her bed.
Wow. Definitely hungover.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Edgar, you get a weird sense that Katie is lost. Like she's lost somewhere and she's trying to get back and for some reason sleeping is going to help her do that. So you just kind of get that sense that she really wants to be laying down and going to sleep.
Okay.
Don't we all?
I will be the watch raven. So let her get her sleep. And I'll stand guard. Or, on my bird feed.
On your perch.
Curtis turns to Dr. Whitaker and says, I'm assuming these are your acquaintances. And Dr. Whitaker kind of nods, and then Curtis says, well, you know why I'm here. So why don't you tell him to shove off?
What? We don't know why you're here.
And
I think
Dr.
you
Whitaker
were
kind
talking
of
to the
looks
doc.
at you all, and she's like,
Huh.
you know, it might be best. It might be a good idea if you just went back to town.
Town's on fire.
We just rolled 4 hours through a forest tonight.
I have frostbite on 3 fingers.
I
to
might actually have
abandon
failed my rolls.
that is our friends, but not yours.
And she says, oh, see, Curtis, it's not nice to just make them go home right now in the dark, but why don't they just spend the night and we can solve all this in the morning. And Curtis kind of gets a look in his face like, are you kidding? He says, I mean, I guess it's not my cabin. I can't throw you out of a cabin that doesn't belong to me, but
Wait, no, but we could throw you out of this cabin.
We are with the person to whom the cabin belongs. So
I just want to be clear. I ain't intended to throw a man that big out of anything right now.
I feel like we deserve a little bit of an explanation.
If you know the doctor and you're a friend of her father's, it seems a mite weird that you're threatening us or insinuating that we need to leave the doc alone when we've been helping her for what, like 2 days in the
Yeah.
mine?
And Dr. Whitaker says, oh, and I thank you so much for all that you've done for me so far. And then she looks at Curtis, and Curtis is just like shaking his head.
What is happening?
I'm pretty sure he was sent to bring her home.
And Curtis, he kind of goes and he picks up, he like kind of strews around on the papers that Katie knocked on the floor. And he picks one up and he slaps it down in front of you, Jameson, on the table right next to your pistol.
Okay, what does the paper say?
And the paper appears to be a telegram. And the telegram is from Barden to a Dr. Erasmus Whitaker.
Her dad, I'm assuming.
Logical.
Yes. And it says, please come to Porte Blanche. Bring the book.
Right. Well, she came instead.
Did you bring a book with you, Doctor?
And she has like this really wide-eyed look and says, book, what book? I don't know what you're talking about. And Curtis says, I don't know any book. But apparently, this little miss got this telegram. Her father didn't want to answer it, and she felt like she was going to go on an adventure and answer the telegram for her father, and came up here to talk to the mayor and do whatever it is that the mayor wants her to do, or wanted her father to do. And her father didn't think that she should be out here all by herself, so he sent me to come fetch the little lady back home.
How old is she? She's like 23, 24?
She's actually like,
Older than that?
she's like 30s.
30s? And her dad? No. If she wanted to come out here, she's allowed to come out here. You're going to come take a 30-year-old woman back home because her dad doesn't want her outside of the house?
And
That's not
Curtis
cool,
kind
man.
of looks at Dr. Whitaker, and Dr. Whitaker is, again, just like kind of like blushing, just super embarrassed. And she says, well, I probably shouldn't have come to do whatever Barden wanted my father to do, because I guess I can't do it as well as him, or I don't know exactly what I was supposed to do, but I thought I could help. I'm really sorry, Curtis. I thought I could help do the job that Daddy was supposed to do out here. I didn't know he'd be so mad.
So when she said that she didn't know anything about a book and she was really wide-eyed, can I tell, like, insight-wise, is she telling the truth?
Roll an insight.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing. But
Roll insight.
I kind of believe her.
Got it.
Okay, she is absolutely lying. She
Oh, really?
knows what book is indicated in there, and it is more than likely that she has it. Not on her, but she probably has it back at the hotel or something.
Okay.
Because she wasn't just embarrassed that she came up here alone. It was definitely like she was embarrassed that she stole her father's book and came up here.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I see. So it's not her he wants back necessarily, but it's the book.
We should probably bring the horses in to a stable.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Katie has a stable, right? Katie, there'd be a stable or something.
Katie does have like a lean-to next to her cabin.
Yeah.
When really quick before we move into that, as soon as I realize that she's lying, I kind of make eye contact with, well, Katie's sleeping, but Bailey and Jameson, kind of like she knows more than she's saying, but communicate like with a look. So, and then we go and get the horses and bring them in.
So while we're walking up the horses, do you need me to fix dinner? Are you hungry?
I mean, I am.
Give me a guacamole with dinner or coffee.
And Dr. Whitaker says, I would love coffee. Coffee sounds wonderful.
Uh-huh.
And then she keeps looking at Curtis like she's asking his permission to do anything.
So I'm gonna ask her a question because I'm gonna look at Molly and then back to her and just really seriously, like, so does Barden know that you brought this book?
And she says, I don't know what book you're talking about.
I'm gonna roll. Can I do charismatic to get her to talk about this?
Sure, you can try.
Will I get advantage because I have the trait?
Absolutely.
All right, let's see. I got 1 5 and 2 2s. Is that enough?
Excellent. That's good enough. Okay.
All right. Basically, like, come on, like, let's be honest. Like, we've known you, like, we can tell, but just tell me honestly that no one else knows you brought this book except for us.
And she again looks at Curtis, and Curtis shakes his head like he can't believe that she actually did it, right? And she says, okay, yes, I stole my father's book because there's only one book in his library that he just cherishes more than any other. And so, of course, when Barden is sending him a secret telegram about this magical frontier adventure that they're going to take, of course he means that book. So, yes, I took it, but I wasn't actually able to tell Barden anything because, I mean, we just had one half of a conversation and then the church caught on fire.
Okay, good. Where is the book right now?
It's back at the hotel in my trunk. And Curtis just kind of shakes his head and says, oh, I can't believe you actually brought the book with you. I can't believe I have to go all the way down there to go get it.
We should probably go get that book before Barden finds it, or the priest, or anybody really.
Yeah.
Wait, does this guy have like weird spikes in his hands or whatever?
Spikes in his hands.
Weird, like,
Does he have the
marks
marks
on
on his
marks, whatever they were.
You can't really tell. I mean, he's got gloves on.
Oh, okay.
So that's how they get the marks, is he high fives them because he has a spike and just
Yeah,
pokes
I
a
meant
hole.
like had
Punch
been spiked, not
hard.
currently has the spikes. It's like some Mistborn level going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's wearing gloves, so you can't tell at this moment. He says, okay, well, we're going to spend the night here. Then in the morning, I'm going to go get that book. And you're
We're
going to
gonna
stay
go
here.
get that book.
I'll make some coffee.
And Dr. Whitaker kind of nods and says, oh, okay. You can go get the book and I'll stay right here and I won't move. I won't go anywhere. And
Yeah, I don't know if I'd believe that.
Mhm.
kind of rolls his eyes again and
Totally.
he goes and sits in the corner and starts like gathering up those papers again.
So who wants coffee?
Yes. Maybe with something a little stronger in it.
Can do.
Some Baileys.
Curtis?
Oh no.
No, we're done. No.
Wow. She was too angry about that.
Bam.
Curtis, Doc, you want coffee?
And Curtis just shrugs and says, "If you're making it."
All right. So I'm gonna give everybody a copy. I'm gonna give it to Curtis last.
Okay.
I'm just being passive aggressive.
Okay. He doesn't care.
All right, Bailey's like, I'm not mean, or Jameson says, I'm not mean enough not to serve you coffee, but I will serve it last. That's his little jab.
I don't. I feel like he's gonna like try to smother us while we sleep or something.
Well, so here's the thing. Let's have a little powwow. I don't want him to really listen, but obviously, like, if her dad had this book.
How are you gonna keep him from listening?
Oh, I don't know.
Like
he might listen, but I'll whisper anyway.
We'll use our super stealthy group sign language we have developed.
Right.
If her dad didn't want Barton to have the book and she stole it, that means that maybe this guy doesn't want Barton to have the book either.
And we don't want Barton to have the book, probably.
Right. So maybe we're actually on the same side.
I really doubt that. Like something just screams at me, no.
Well, sure. Everything about this.
You don't burn a church and then ride a horse through the street like you're the headless horseman and just shoot people on the back of your horse.
I'm also going to gesture at, like, Katie and be like, yeah, nothing about this is correct right now.
Oh, yeah. He didn't really say anything about the church, did he?
No, that's true. He could have killed a lot of innocent people.
Hey, Curtis, my compatriots here, Miss McGee and Mr. Bailey, they saw you throw a torch onto the church in town.
He says, "Yes, I did." You praying man?
Only when push comes to shove. But people were in there, right? Like, could have died. Like people like Miss McGee here, or the doc. Even.
He says, "Oh, I gave him plenty of time. I broke that window and then threw it in there slowly."
Slowly.
Little softball toss,
Yeah.
I mean,
underhand.
You still burned down a church regardless. Is that not sinking in?
And he says, "Let's just say her father had a message to send." And then he kind of looks at Dr. Whitaker, and Dr. Whitaker is like, "I didn't know he would be so mad."
When he looks at Dr. Whitaker, I grab my gun and I shoot him.
You shoot him?
What the?
Okay.
I mean, not completely unexpected, but also very unexpected.
All right.
I was fine until he was ready to sacrifice everybody to make a point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a man I'm going to fall asleep around, and he doesn't seem to be leaving, and I'm not leaving.
So like, where do you?
We're just getting it out of the way.
Where do you right for the headshot, upper body?
Kneecap.
I got a 6-shooter. I'm putting 6 in his chest.
Oh, you're doing the full like and the hammer on him.
Oh yeah, no, I'm done. We're done. If he's willing to burn the church around the person he's supposed to bring home, he's willing to burn this cabin down around us too.
Oh well, that's 100% accurate.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a little break. We'll take a 7-minute break, and then we'll come back and see what happens when Jameson shoots Curtis. Okay, so see y'all in 7 minutes.
Okay.
Hey there.
Hello.
Hello. Oops.
Frankly, I'm just impressed I made it 3.5 sessions without shooting somebody.
I
So-
know. Well, especially because that's your belief, right?
Right. Shoot first,
Yeah.
ask questions later. I only shot the preacher in the foot, so that doesn't even really count as shooting anybody.
Exactly.
It's about time we get a fight in here, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I actually, player and character, if she was not unconscious, would have totally seen that coming because it was righteous. That whole starting the church on fire just to, rescue, kidnap. Something awful
Oh, man.
strange.
A Gru reference. Yeesh. That's not a thing I've heard in a long time.
Oh, in the comment.
Yeah.
Pollywog. Nicely done.
What's up, doggy?
Aw.
Oh,
It's
puppers.
Danica. She says hi.
Oh, she's cute. Oh
She's adorable.
my gosh, she is.
Mine are locked upstairs because they're awful.
Do you have big fluffers though? I feel like I've seen one in the background once.
Me or
Yeah, you, Ellen. Do you have? They're little guys.
they're both Chihuahua mixes.
Oh,
So
Danica's a miniature wiener dog. She's like
I
8 pounds of just sass.
love wiener dogs.
I was
She's
gonna say, why would you miniaturize a wiener dog? Like they're already not that big.
she's like a little smoky. She's a little cocktail weenie dog.
Look, the smaller they are, the easier they are to carry them with you.
See, Jared F gets it. He is on board. He understands.
Yeah, he's overdue. Yep.
That is
Exactly.
true.
Yeah, Bailey's got that itchy, or Jameson has that itchy trigger finger.
Mhm.
During our practice session, Jameson, it just took one episode and he was just killing people.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
Mhm.
I think
It's true.
Jameson shot someone on the first session. But we
Yeah.
also knew that was a
I
smaller
made it longer than our initial practice sessions. I want to be clear. Like I made it 3.5 sessions. We only did 3 practice sessions. I've already exceeded the entire last.
Yeah.
That's fair.
One person.
Mm.
You've been very patient.
Well, because what's your belief again though? It makes total
Oh
sense.
yeah,
to
my
me.
belief of shoot first, ask questions later.
Exactly.
Or never, maybe.
And sometimes you don't get to ask
Yeah.
questions because
Right.
you
Yep.
deaded them. So yes,
Yes. DED dead.
deaded. Yes.
Okay. Well, I think we're all back. So we're going to go ahead and start our combat. So we're going to need everyone to roll initiative. So that's 2d6 and
Oh,
add
wow.
them together.
I wish there was a way I could like easily show you guys my roll because I got 2 6s.
Nice.
Oh my.
Boxcars.
Okay.
Nice.
Did you really get 2
Well,
6s? I got
I
a
did.
total of 5. So my one die, or both die, was less than your one die. So that's
Yeah.
good.
Dwarven Q workshop dice. That's
Yeah,
pretty
these were given to me for another
Nice.
character I play in another campaign.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Jameson, what'd you get?
I got a 7.
You got a 7.
Statistically average.
That's because you already
Average.
took an action. So.
Yeah, is he gonna have like the surprise action for the shot, basically?
I don't know how many actions we can take other than like he just like he was the only guy that we would be. We're not going to fight the doctor.
Oh damn! That means something.
Where are we?
Okay.
Do I need to shoot the doctor?
No, don't shoot the
No.
doctor.
I mean, because it sounds like he's willing, right?
It does very
$100.
yes.
$100. That's the price.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and give obviously Jameson some type of surprise round because he was just like, bam, go for it, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to give him one opportunity to shoot, and then we're going to have our official combat. So we'll just assume, Jameson, that you just hit the man because he's just sitting there. He's not trying to dodge or anything. So you'll get one free shot off of him.
Okay. That's 1 damage from my pistol.
Awesome. Okay. And we will go ahead and start. It looks like Molly goes first, then Jameson, then Curtis will go, then Bailey will go, then the doctor will go.
Wait, what about Edgar?
Edgar's a bird.
Birds have those talons, man. They're scary.
He would probably go if Katie elected, but she's not in a position where.
As someone who's been attacked by birds and that made me bleed, they can too.
Whoa.
So, yes. Especially a 3-foot tall one. That's terrifying. Yes.
Okay. Katie, if you want to, Gina, if you want Edgar to join the fray, you're welcome to.
I'm okay because I think in fact, I specifically said he's kind of guarding her to make sure she gets her rest because you said he could kind of tell she needed it. So I think he would do that unless someone else tried to tell me she should do something. So he'll mostly just try to protect her.
All right. So let's go ahead and start with Molly. Molly, what do you do?
I know that they're shooting, and I assume that if Jameson shot him, there was probably a reason, but honestly, it's Jameson, so I don't know. I was going to say, I assume if he shot him, there was a reason, and then I thought about what I was saying.
Can't assume that at all.
No, you can't. I am going to move by the doctor and kind of protect the doctor a little bit, push her back a little bit and hide behind something.
Okay. There isn't really much to hide behind. It's a really small 1-room cabin. There's a bed, there's a table and some chairs, there's a fireplace, and that's about it.
Okay.
There's like a stack of furs over in the corner.
Okay. Go to the furs and just hold it up in front of us. Go by the hide a little in the furs, I guess. Just kind of get out of the way of what's happening as much as possible.
Okay.
And then I don't think I want to shoot the doctor because I'm not. I definitely don't want to shoot the doctor. I don't think I'm going to take her out of the way and then shoot her. I don't think I want to shoot at Curtis because I don't know that he did anything bad. So I know that I get 2 actions, but
you can always take the evade action, which means if you're attacked, you get a chance to make it miss.
Okay. Do you get hold action in this? Like, if someone comes after me, then I can evade it. So you have to use them again.
Well, evade lasts until the start of your turn.
Oh, okay, cool. Then I'll do that.
On your turn, you say, I evade. Until the start of your turn, if anybody attacks you, you roll 1 dice. On a 5 or 6, it misses.
Perfect. Okay. Then I will do that.
Excellent. Okay. All right. It is Jameson, your turn. So you just shot, man.
Shoot twice more. Just boom, boom.
Twice more. Okay. All right.
I'm not messing around.
Okay, roll a hit.
I will hit the first one for 1 damage.
Okay.
And I will hit the second one for 1 damage.
All right.
It's my master weapon. I'm pretty good with my pistol.
Excellent.
Nice.
And he's not too far away. So, I mean, easy target. Okay, Curtis immediately, right, just kind of like grabs at his chest where he thinks he's being shot. And he actually spends his turn flipping the table over at you, Jameson, and then running out of the cabin.
Okay. I guess.
Okay, and he's going to head toward the stables. So that's going to be his turn. And at the stables, he's going to cut all the horses loose.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
All right. Okay, Bailey, it's your turn.
I'm going after him.
Okay.
And I'm going after the horse. I mean, if I can stop him from cutting the horses loose, I will. Or I will try to at least stop them from leaving the stable. You said it was kind of a lean-to.
It's kind of
so
a
I don't
lean-to.
imagine there's doors, but if there's a way that I could get even like 1 or 2 of the horses, I will do whatever it takes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and have you roll some kind of dex save to maybe grab
Can I use nimble fingers?
Nimble fingers is more like pickpocketing, not like snatching horses.
That's all I've got. So I was hoping. So just a regular roll then.
Yeah.
All right, I got 1 5, so maybe that's enough.
Okay. All right. So I'll say that you're able to grab 1 horse.
Oh, that's better than no horses.
All right. The rest of them scatter. Okay. Excellent.
And he's in the wind, or what is he? Is he still in the stable?
Yeah, he's still in the stable trying to get onto the horse. On his next turn, he's definitely gonna bolt out of there. Okay. It is Doc Whitaker's turn, and she's not actually gonna try to hurt anybody, but she is going to try to say, "Don't kill him." She's saying it's not his fault he's up here. It's my fault. I didn't want to cause any trouble. Don't kill him, please.
It might be too late.
Now, whether or not you listen to her, that's up to you. It's your prerogative, right? Okay. So Molly, we're back up to you.
Okay. I will also.
I can boot Ashley, but I can't boot Paul.
Yeah, for making that comment.
I appreciate that, Paul. Thank you. I will run out to see if I can help with the horses situation as well.
Yeah, I'm out there shouting for help with the horses.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
And she doesn't want us to kill him, so I might go out and kind of keep an eye on that situation too.
Okay. So Molly, let's again have you roll to see if you can stop any of the horses.
Okay. I got 2 successes.
Okay. You definitely grab another horse. Okay. Excellent. So that was your turn. All right, Jameson, it's your turn.
I'm gonna step outside.
Okay.
Is he on a horse or is he trying to climb on one?
He is trying to climb on one. Because he used his actions to run out of the cabin and after flipping the table, and he's trying to get on the horse.
How hurt does he look?
I mean, he got shot 3 times, so he's not he's not looking great.
I'll shoot him twice more.
You will? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's already committed this much ammo. He might as well see it through.
All right.
That's a hit.
Okay.
And that's a hit for 2 more damage.
Okay. All right. He's looking very injured, but he's not quite dead yet. Okay. So yes, he is basically just going to just zoom out of that lean-to on his horse, just try to just get away from you guys. And so he actually just flees straight into the woods and tries to disappear into the forest and get some cover.
I mean, it's still the middle of the night, isn't it?
It is still the middle of the night. There's barely any starlight, a little tiny bit of moonlight from a sliver of a moon. But he doesn't want to be shot at, so he is running.
And there's no way he put his furs back on.
No, he just booked it. He just went.
Maybe he'll just freeze to death and we won't have to worry about it.
He will, but we could use the horse.
That's true. Well, you're more than welcome to go after him.
Don't you have a gun? Just shoot him.
I don't. I've never had a gun.
Yeah, Bailey has a knife, so.
Throw your knife. I don't know.
Don't use guns.
It'd be really convenient right now if you did.
Bailey, it's your turn.
I mean, there's nothing much I can really do. I mean, help Molly with the horses, getting them calmed down and back in the stable. So if Jameson does want to ride off with one of them, we can do that.
Okay. You each caught a horse, so the other 2 kind of just fled off into the woods.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we'll do with what we have.
We'll just have to share. So you are going to be on the back of Jameson's horse this time.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, at least I have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yay.
Bailey, do you want to do anything besides that?
I mean, I don't know what I mean. He's gone. I'm not going to chase him down in the middle of the night.
Okay.
I'm certainly not going to do that. So no, I don't think. I mean, I guess if the thought that maybe he'll come back around, I'll go for a little defense, but I'm not really that worried about it.
Okay.
I feel like he's gone.
All right. And definitely by this point, right, we have the doctor running out of the cabin, trying to wave her arms in front of everyone. Don't kill him. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. Okay, so does anyone want to chase him? Jameson.
That's my boy.
Well, look, now there's a wounded man out in the woods who is either going to get a horse killed. Horses are expensive and also great to have. And 2, might come back and try to kill us while we're sleeping.
And he knows where the book is too. So
it's best to just kind of be done with this. And being done with this means I'm getting a horse and going.
Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and just do that. Does anyone else want to jump on a horse and chase Curtis down? You have 2
I mean,
horses.
I will go with Jameson. I don't want to slow him down though, which I probably would if I was on the same horse with him.
So you could take the other horse. There are 2.
I'll take the other horse.
Okay. So both of you go. And
I'll bring
chase.
Aurora with us. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure she can track all the blood he's leaving.
Excellent.
Cool.
Okay.
His blood is red, right?
But your dog is colorblind, so
On this note,
I know. I was just kidding. Okay, so it sounds like Molly, you're gonna stay back because there's only 2 horses left. So we're gonna go ahead and say, Jameson, it's your turn. You jump on a horse and
I'm gonna write
go.
out. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna need you to make just a save to see if you can get through the woods safely. You made it? Awesome. And same thing with you, Bailey. Just real quick.
Just a regular one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, finally.
Awesome.
This time I don't suffer and freeze and fall off a horse and die. So
Okay. All right. So basically how we're going to do this chase is Curtis is not going to try to attack you. He didn't really grab his gun or anything. He just kind of got on the horse and went. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having Jameson shooting. And Bailey, do you want to just kind of like try to, what are you trying to do exactly
I mean,
during this chase scene?
I'm just here for backup.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make sure that we don't lose sight of him.
Okay.
Like make sure that like if he starts to go one way, if I can get close enough to like herd him into Jameson's line of fire, I will.
Okay.
I don't know if
Sure. Okay, let's try that then. All right, so Jameson, it's your turn and in the initiative order. So let's go ahead and see if you can.
All right.
shoot him.
So I only have 1 shot left in my gun.
Okay.
So I'm gonna focus as my first action, and then I'm gonna shoot.
All right. Let's go ahead and have you do that. Got it?
Nice.
Okay. All right. You shoot him. He still does not go down.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's 6 damage. This guy is tough.
He is tough. Okay.
Well, to be fair, I have 6 HP and I am not a giant woodsman like this guy is.
All right. It is Curtis's turn, and he's just going to use it to just basically go as fast as he can through the dark woods. I am going to have him roll to see if he can make it without knocking. Oh, no. He totally runs into a tree and gets knocked off his horse.
There we go. Finally, something goes our way.
Okay. All right, Bailey, it's your turn. Curtis has been knocked from his horse. He is on the ground.
I'm going to grab him.
Okay.
Horse.
Well, yeah, the horse.
You're going to grab him and the horse? Or
I will. Well, he's off the horse, right?
Yes, he's off the horse. He is.
So I will
on
go after the horse. I will let Jameson deal with him.
Okay.
I'm going to go after the horse and try to grab it. So
All right. Let's have
just a
you make
regular roll for that.
that. Mhm.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I didn't 4-1.
Okay.
So
Can't
can I
quite
keep
grab
chasing it? And maybe try again next turn, or is it gone?
it. If you want to keep on it, like you can.
I mean, yeah, horses are important.
Okay. All right. You can keep following it. All right, Jameson. It is your turn.
How out of it does he look?
He looks stunned, but not like it will affect him much.
All right, it's gonna get dark because I call out my horse and draw my Bowie knife.
Oh my gosh. See, this is also why Bailey left. Now he doesn't have to.
I'm out of bullets.
To anybody else.
Mhm.
Out of bullets. It's time for close-up work.
Ignorance
All right.
is bliss in this situation.
Okay. All right. Well, Bowie knife it up, I guess. Go ahead and roll to see if you can poke some holes in this pincushion.
So I am not proficient with any sort of melee weapon, just to be clear. So I
Okay.
only get
Oh,
one
good.
die.
Okay.
But he is unconscious, isn't he? Or not
No,
really?
Mm-mm.
Don't poke your-
I got a 6 on my one die, so I
Oh.
Of course you
Yay.
did. Okay. He is still not quite dead.
What the heck is with this guy?
Do I still have an action? I'll knife him again.
You do have one more action.
You better hope
Where's
he
the
doesn't
coup de
start
grace?
flying.
You got it. Okay. All right. Okay, you stab Curtis to death and he falls to the ground. Okay, Bailey, I'm going to give you one last chance to try to grab that horse before it
All right,
goes,
let's see what
goes
happens.
off.
All right. One last chance. It's 1-6.
Nice. Okay, you
Nice.
grab that last horse.
Look, Jameson's not the only one rolling 6s.
Okay.
I will grab its reins and lead it back.
Okay. So you come back and Jameson is standing over Curtis's dead body.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't need to know. Jameson here's a horse. Let's go back.
I mean, what's not to know? I mean, it's very obvious what happened.
Sure. I didn't ask any questions, is what I guess I'm saying.
I know.
Okay.
Is there like a gully or ditch nearby?
Yeah. I mean, you're up in the mountains. It's
All right.
pretty easy to find something.
I'm gonna rifle his pockets for any papers or like tickets he has or anything. See maybe how he's planning to go home or something.
All right. It doesn't seem like he had any in his pockets. It seemed like whatever was in that pile, probably back in the cabin, had all that stuff. He just kind of got caught up and got out of there real quick.
Sure.
So you don't really see much, except he did have a big like hunting knife on him in his belt.
Is it nicer than my knife?
It's about the same.
I'll leave it.
Okay.
Bad luck to steal from a dead man unless you're gonna make money off it.
I am going to have you roll an investigation roll, though, just to see if you notice anything in particular.
Okay, let me roll. I don't have any sort of investigative or perceptive talent, so just enter test.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 5. Woo!
Okay. All right.
Wow, hot streak.
Okay. And this is just going to remind you that he is wearing gloves. So if you are curious at any point about whether or not he had marks in his hands, this would be the time to do it before you dump his body into the gully.
I realize we need to, but also Jameson totally wouldn't think of that because everybody else has been way more involved with the hands.
Yeah, but I would think
haven't
about
been
that.
with them half the time that's come up, so I'm just not even going to think about it.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
I'm there with you.
Okay, that's true. If
Bailey
Bailey
would
says
go
something,
to-
I'll do it.
Like, I don't need to know what happened, but like, I am going to ask about
How-
that. Like,
Does he have a coat? Is he wearing a coat?
He's not wearing a coat. He took it off and
he left it. So we have an extra coat back at the cabin.
Hey, I'll
I'm
take
I'm
his-
already wearing it. I've
Take his
taken it and I
glove-
already have one. Oh.
Take his gloves off for a second. I want to see something.
All right.
Okay. His hands are clean. Nothing.
Okay. Well, so it seems like maybe whatever this, her dad obviously isn't a fan of Bardens, or at least they don't work together anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, not like it matters now, but his story might have been legit.
Well, I'm sure it was, but he also tried to burn down.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. You don't really get to burn down a church and walk away.
Yeah, I don't feel terribly bad. And I feel a little bad.
It's
But not
terrible.
terribly bad.
That's mid.
Like a normal amount of bad.
Just a slightly half.
Standard test of bad, just 2, not
Like
the
standard
3.
amount of bad I feel, so I drink at night. Not so bad that I drink all day too.
Nice.
Right in that middle ground.
Or just an average kind of bad for
Yeah.
for a day in the life in the frontier.
Mhm.
Okay.
Cool. So, did my perception test get me anything?
Specifically, you notice, okay, that although he doesn't have these kind of marks in his hands that you come to expect from weird characters around town, you do notice though that he does have a strange tattoo kind of at the base of his neck, just under his hairline.
What does it look like?
It looks like a door, kind of like an arched doorway with some light coming out of it. It's a very simple stylized line drawing, but it's very distinctly a door with light coming through.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Well, people have all sorts of weird tattoos, whatever. I kick him in the gully.
Okay. His body, gully.
And we go back.
Okay.
Actually, we go get the other horses. I'll tracker them down with my tracker advantage and bring them all back.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to see if you can find them in the dark.
They probably didn't get very far. I got 1 success.
Okay, you're able to find that last horse. Okay. Or at least you found another horse. I think there's still one more because there were 4
I will
horses.
go till I have them all.
Okay. All right. We'll just assume that you can find it then on that success.
I ain't gonna let a horse die out there in the cold.
Okay. All right. So you go back to the cabin after gathering all the horses and stowing them in the lean-to. Dr. Whitaker is bawling, just like crying the ugliest crying tears because she heard gunshots and then you all came back without Curtis, and she just is racked with guilt because she didn't mean for anyone to get killed. She didn't mean for this to, go badly in any way. She didn't know that her little adventure would end up like this. And so she is emotionally just totally distraught.
This isn't going to help. And Bailey can comfort her after I say this because it's not going to make the situation better.
It's definitely not going to make it better.
But I'm going to point out that he chose to try to burn down the entire town. There's a frontier town, and you light one building on fire, they're all going up. He could have killed a couple dozen people with that. So that ain't on her head. The only mistake on her head is her dumb decision to take the book and leave town that caused him to come up here. After that, it's all on him.
Yeah.
Sheriff would have shot him too. I just happened to be closer.
And she, for once, actually doesn't have much to say. She's just crying.
I mean, he was not a good guy, if that makes you feel any better.
I drink his coffee.
He had some weird cult stuff stamped all over his body or tattooed on his body. I don't know. This whole thing is weirding me out.
He had a tattoo. He's a cult guy.
He's a cultist.
Obviously, that's what tattoos mean, as you're
right.
clearly in a
Yeah. Ashley is a major cultist.
leader.
Yeah.
I mean, met Ashley in real life. Can't confirm.
Yeah, I imagine cult leader status.
I ask her, when he explains what the tattoo looked like, I ask her, this book that you took, does it say anything about that type of tattoo, or what does it say in it? I imagine that I would probably try and talk to her while they were doing their thing. I don't think we're just going to stand out there and wait for the menfolk to come back. So we're probably chatting and trying to get the story out of her of what happened, as much as I can anyway.
And she says, I don't know that the book is special in any way. It's a really old kind of vintage antique that my father said he got in London at some point. I just thought it was some type of just, I don't know. I mean, I assumed that he and Barden went to school together or they worked together or something. And so this was just kind of some type of interesting heirloom that they both enjoyed, and he wanted to see it. I didn't know that it was going to be important.
But an educated individual like yourself, I can't imagine you would have this really cool book with you and you would not open it and read any of it.
She says, well, I've read some of it, but I mean, it's really boring.
What's it about?
Well, she says it's called The Germination of Alchemical Truths. So she says it's just a whole bunch of just superstitious hooey.
It sounds like it.
She says, I don't even know why my father would be interested in this type of thing. That's why I thought maybe it was just a collector's item of some kind, just some really old book on metaphysics that he might have found some interest in because it was rare or something. I don't know. My father's quite wealthy. He collects all kinds of things, but this is really his only book.
Jameson goes to sleep.
So when he describes the tattoo, I ask her, when you were flipping through this book, did you see anything in the book that sounds similar to that?
Not particularly. I mean, maybe. I didn't read very much of it. I mean, if we go get it, I can give it to you and you can read it. I mean, I didn't.
Well, in the morning we're gonna go get that book.
Yeah.
She says, okay.
There's no way we're not gonna go get that book. Hopefully, everybody that knows about that book is now dead, except for us. Hopefully.
All right.
We just have to hope that Bahr didn't
assume
assume as you didn't bring it. What was that, Marty? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm going to go to Katie real quick. Okay. So, Katie, your character is still kind of out of it, right? So, not quite there, lost somewhere mentally, all right? But you had a very distinct set of kind of images pop into your head not too long ago, just moments ago, in fact. And they specifically were of someone jumping on a horse. And again, just like last time, you could kind of see through this person's eyes, see this person jumping on a horse, going somewhere in the dark really quickly, just kind of wildly looking around, trying to find some type of way to escape. Then suddenly getting knocked off of that horse and falling to the ground. And then you see Jameson come up to you with a knife and just basically plunge it into your chest a couple times.
Ooh.
And then the vision disappears.
Yeah. I think she would, she's already kind of in a trance or a daze, but I think this is, although when she saw the other images, it was as if it was happening to her as well, right? But this time, it's somebody she knows intimately. Like, I mean, I'm not outing us or anything like that, or even shipping us.
Yeah, but this is someone you.
But this is somebody I know. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think she would just bolt upright in bed and scream, like blood-curdling, creepy scream.
Okay.
I don't even know if she's awake though, but that happens.
Okay. So the rest of you in the cabin, you see Katie bolt up out of bed and then just scream bloody murder.
Well, I jump up out of bed and scream bloody murder.
It's a duet. Let me sing you
What
the song.
the heck?
Scream
I'm like
singing.
in fight or flight instinct now. I'm like, Jameson, gun.
Jameson slowly wakes up.
Slowly. He has earplugs in.
He had a pretty eventful day. Let the guy sleep a little bit.
What's up? What's going on?
You don't hear the screaming.
Why? Well, I hear this. Why are we all screaming?
It's like Katie, does she look like she's like, having like a seizure or shaking or like anything weird, or is she just like screaming
Full
in general?
roll on the roof. Like, what's happening here?
Okay. So she screams bloody murder and then again just kind of goes quiet. And looks at each of you.
I look back.
Okay. Now Edgar also saw this through Katie's kind of telepathic link with him. So Edgar witnessed the last few moments of Curtis's life via Katie. So Edgar knows exactly what Katie experienced and knows why she was screaming.
I think Edgar would do the Raven bird equivalent of Jacques Hughes at Jameson. So he's flap and kind of like flap at Jameson, like probably Katie is still screaming. So before she kind of just flumps back into the bed.
Okay.
It's like you're getting side eye from a raven.
Look, bird, I already killed one man tonight. Don't make me kill a bird.
Yeah, let's we've had enough killing today.
Probably true.
Somebody I don't know, whack her upside the head till she goes.
I'm not gonna do that.
I think Maudie said she did. She stopped and then kind of.
She did stop.
Flopped.
She just kind of.
Why'd she wake up?
I don't know, man. I don't know why any of this is happening.
And
Don't look at me for any answers tonight.
Dr. Whitaker says it's just bad dreams, right? Just bad dreams. This is just all a nightmare. Like, this isn't really happening.
Doc, have you read your dad's book?
She says, no, I already told you. I found it really boring. I didn't read hardly any of it.
Uh-huh. All right.
Hardly any of it.
And what she did read was just leading her to believe that it was metaphysical mumbo jumbo. So,
Right, metaphysical mumbo jumbo, like flying men and men falling from the sky and,
for example,
demon birds talk.
Yeah, I still don't really get it.
Yeah. I think we need to, I don't know, go to sleep. I think we need to go to sleep.
I think that we should probably take turns watching. Like, take
Alright.
watch.
Tell you what, everybody who didn't kill a man tonight, go to bed.
Everyone that didn't?
Everyone that didn't kill a man, so
Yeah.
everyone else.
That's everyone but you.
Well, Jameson looks really on edge.
Mm-hmm. Because you've had 2 cups of coffee on top of killing
Yeah, I
somebody.
probably don't want him staying up and taking watch.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because Katie's liable to get shot if she wakes up and screams again at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe we should
Probably
take Jameson's, like, put Jameson's gun a little bit farther away.
Make him think about it for a little bit first before
Well, I
he
mean,
shoots.
Bailey doesn't have a gun. You could offer to take the first watch and ask if you can borrow his gun. He'd probably let you at this point.
That's true. Let's do that.
All right. He'll go to sleep.
All right.
He like puts his hat over his eyes and like, ugh.
Okay. So Bailey, you're gonna take the first watch.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna try not to fall asleep as I sit on a chair in the corner.
All right. I'm actually gonna have you roll
That makes sense.
to see if you fall asleep.
All right. Let's to see if I fall asleep. What I rolled 2 dice.
Yep, just standard test.
Now, do I want to succeed this or do I want to fail it? 'Cause I got a 5.
Okay. All right. You are able to stay up for your
Okay.
watch. Excellent. Okay.
Good, but I'm pretty
job.
tired. So
Okay. Does anyone else stay up for a watch? Okay, Molly.
I'll take the second watch so he can,
Get some.
come in and say, "Hey, I stayed awake," and I'll be like, "Good job," and then I'll stay
I'm
awake.
gonna go pass out right away.
Okay.
And I got 1-6.
All right. You are also able to stay awake. Okay. And do you guys get Jameson up for a watch, or do you just kind of
Nah, let him. Like I said, he's had a rough day.
Okay. It's already
He's had a lot of excitement
yeah,
today.
it's already like 3 a.m. by this point, so I mean, like, it's you only need to take 1 watch each before really like the sun comes up.
Right.
All right.
I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Well, you get a few hours rest before the sun comes up. And it looks like Dr. Whitaker didn't sleep at all. She was unable to sleep. She basically stayed up all night, muttering to herself, kind of mumbling apologies into the air because, again, she didn't expect for any of this to happen. She's chewed her nails down to little nubs and her fingers are starting to get a little bloody, and she's just super on edge and nervous, and she just looks terrible the next morning.
Yeah, she's gonna be useless today.
And as you kind of all of you get up for the day, she kind of looks at all of you and asks, so when is Curtis coming back?
Who knows?
He was out there all night. I mean, I guess that's what mountain men do, right? But when is he coming back here? Isn't he gonna come here and take me home?
You're looking at us like any of us have an answer to what he's thinking right now.
I can answer that question. He ain't come back.
And she looks at you and says, why not?
He's dead.
And she looks like she just like doesn't register, like that word doesn't mean anything to her. And she says, I don't exactly understand what that
Jameson,
means.
you didn't have to tell her that.
But
He's gonna know. I dumped his body in a ditch.
and she's like, oh, he fell into a ditch. Can you show me maybe where that is?
No. We don't have time for this. We need to get
Jerry's gonna
moving.
look at Bailey like, I mean, she wants to see the body. She can see
We
the
need
body.
to get. How about we talk about this later? We need to get moving.
Look, Doc, I appreciate that this is your first encounter with this sort of stuff.
She says, well, I mean, I did know Curtis a little bit. I wasn't quite good friends with him or anything. I just heard about him. I met him once when he came to Chicago. But he'll be back. If we help him out of the ditch, he'll be back.
I appreciate your concern, but Curtis ain't coming back.
I think he said he had a different job he had to go do and that he would meet up with us in a couple days. So it's just up to us for right now. And I give Jameson a look. And I'm like,
what?
We need to go get the book.
That is not what he said.
Because we need to go get the book. And
All he
she
said was,
is...
I said, he said nothing. All that was just blood coming out of his mouth. Jameson has no idea what he said.
And she says, "Oh,
all right.
Okay.
Book is the priority."
Would you like some breakfast, Doc?
And she says, "No, I'm just gonna go outside and maybe wait for Curtis to come back out of the ditch."
All right, well, she's lost her mind.
She goes outside and kind of just sits in the middle of this glen, waiting, just looking.
Was there room for two in that, Jameson?
What was that?
Oh, I was just saying, Jameson, if there was room for two in the gully.
It's a big gully. You can put a lot of people in there if you wanted.
Do we know where the book is?
It's in her room. She said it.
Killing her and leaving her body.
I don't know what Jameson is going to do. He is utterly unpredictable. So I just want to make sure that we know.
I don't think he's going to kill anyone.
No, you are predictable. You shoot people. So I want to know that we know where the book is.
I don't just shoot people. I shoot people who deserve it.
She did tell us it was in her hotel room.
She did say it was in her hotel room in her trunk.
The trunk,
okay.
Yeah.
So Jameson is actually really bothered by the fact that she's this upset.
Okay.
Not bothered that he doesn't get it. He sort of understands that. He doesn't quite get it because he's been so frontiersy for a while. He's like, people die. This happens. Mm-hmm. It's not a gun. It's like frostbite or the wolves or the ocean or whatever. Right?
It's always something.
But he's not. So he's sympathetic. He feels empathetic that she's hurting. So I would like to try to console her somehow, but he's really bad at it. So I'd like to roll with disadvantage.
Okay. Sounds reasonable.
I got a 5.
Okay. Well, what do you say to try to comfort this poor bereaved woman?
Look, Dr. Whitaker, what's her first name?
Delilah.
Delilah Whitaker. I ain't a man of learning or nothing. But when I was a kid, my mom read me the Bible, and my wife, before she passed, she liked the Bible. She thought it was a pretty good book based on what she kept calling it. And sometimes in the course of events of human action, it is required that we have to do things we don't like to do, and that hurts people we don't want to have to hurt. And when Curtis tried to burn down the church with you in it, not to mention endangering all the other people who live in Porte Blanche, and sometimes the righteous thing a man has to do is to stop an unrighteous man from hurting more people. And there ain't no pleasure in that, and it don't make no one happy, and it's okay to hurt and be sad and even blame yourself a little bit, but it ain't okay to wall up your mind and your heart and pretend it didn't happen or that it ain't the thing that needed to be done. The best we can do is keep going forward, like the good book says, and he'll totally misquote some sort of scripture.
Okay. Well, because you succeeded, your very heart-to-heart talk works, and she kind of just breathes out a sigh and a couple of tears fall from her eyes, and she says, okay, I understand. Curtis was probably a dangerous person. I mean, he did maybe do something that could have hurt a lot of people. I would like to perhaps pay my respects to his remains if you could point me to where he is.
Sure. Why don't we give him a good Christian burial?
She says, okay.
After we find the book.
No, I'm not riding 4 hours back to find the book. It's coming 4 hours back to bury the body.
Or,
We'll take 20 minutes and we'll bury the body now.
I don't know if it takes 20 minutes to dig a grave.
If Barton was going to get the book, he had a whole evening of us not being there to get the book. And it will only take 20 minutes to dig the grave if you come help me, Bailey.
Still like to see if we get it done in 20 minutes, but sure.
So I'll go get a shovel and take
Okay.
her there, and I'll do my best to be sympathetic, but I'm probably not great at it, and I probably say stupid stuff the whole way through.
Okay. No worries. All right.
Yeah,
So you
let's
are
try.
able to find a shovel and a couple shovels in the cabin, and you dig a nice little grave. So she says, okay, you said the body was in a ditch. Where is that?
Yeah, it was a unfortunate effect of what happened last night. I was intending to come back in the morning, but we hadn't had time to do it yet.
She says, oh, okay. So should I just wait here while you go get the body, or?
Sure.
Do you want me? Should I go with you? Do you need help carrying
No,
it?
no, I didn't get the body. I'll go down there and get Grace's body and haul it up to the
Okay.
glen and try to bury it in the frozen dirt.
All right. You approach the gully and you look down to see where the body landed, and you don't see one. And you remember quite distinctly, right? This is where you drag the body. You see the marks in the snow and in the dirt. You see the blood trail.
Yeah.
You see where he probably would have landed, considering how hard you kind of chucked him over the edge. But you cannot find anything.
Is there
nothing.
blood on the rocks or anything?
There's no indication that he hit the ground at all.
Is there blood where I knifed him?
There is blood where you knifed him.
Okay.
There's blood in the trail where you dragged his body up to the edge of the gully, but there is nothing in the gully that would indicate that a body fell at any time.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to her. Body ain't fit to be dragged out, so I piled some rocks over it and put a cross in it.
And she says, "Oh, can I go pay my respects?"
It's pretty treacherous down there in the snow and the cold dirt and all that. You should just do it from here. God will hear your prayers no matter where you are.
And she says, "Oh, you know what? I bet that's true." And then she just kind of closes her eyes and
Wait. And I'm
clasps her hands.
paranoid,
Little
looking around for a dead body to attack me at this point. I've got one hand on my gun.
Now who's the one lying? You were giving me so much crap when I was trying to make her feel better, and you're just like, yeah, no, I totally buried him.
Hey, you know what? I was giving you crap when I thought he was a body in a ditch. Apparently he's a body in a ditch.
Well, who would have possibly come for him?
Did you?
Okay. As you're kind of talking about this weird incident, and poor little Delilah's saying her prayers to someone, Katie actually walks out of the cabin.
Nice.
And she looks at all of you, and she actually speaks.
What?
She says, "The papers are gone."
Okay. I mean, sure.
Hmm.
And that's all she says.
Okay.
Something's not right here, guys.
Hmm. Yes. I asked Dr. Whitaker if she knew what the papers were because we saw the one that was the telegraph, but did she know what other papers were in that stack that he had been looking at?
And she says, "Oh, I'll answer in a minute. I'm just saying some prayers real quick."
Okay.
She just kind of goes back to her praying. And after a few minutes, she's like, "Okay, papers." He had a bunch of them. Some of them were, it looked like maybe letters, like some kind of like banknotes, maybe. I think there was maybe a train ticket or two. I wasn't really paying too close attention, but I think there was also maybe like some type of, maybe like a wanted poster. Yeah, I think there was a wanted poster. I thought that was weird that he would have one, but yeah.
Well, didn't Jameson go through his pockets?
He did go through his pockets, but we didn't really find anything there in his pockets.
So whatever. Well, did we ever go through his like fur pockets, like his jacket pockets?
Molly had his jacket on,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't really have any pockets in there.
Well, let's look. Can I use my investigation and see if I can find these missing things around the cabin somewhere?
Sure. Go ahead and roll.
All right, 2 5s.
Okay. You look all over that cabin and you don't find any papers, but you do see a little spot of blood on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, there was a shootout here. Is it odd? I mean, I would expect to see blood after Jameson shot someone.
Mm-hmm. So it's not particularly odd. It's just in kind of like a corner of the room that you didn't really expect it to be in.
I'm going to investigate that corner. Is there anything weird in the corner? Like anything in the wall that's like...
You kind of go look in the corner and you notice that there's a few drops there, and then you look at the windowsill and there's just like a slick of blood across the top of the windowsill, and
Jameson?
the window is open.
I mean, that's all I can say.
It's just Jameson.
Jameson.
I don't know. I feel like we totally hit a cliffhanger, and I don't know if I want to like say more.
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe that's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
That's probably a great place to stop.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for
Yeah.
4 of Tiny Cthulhu, Yukon Dark. We'll quick go around starting with me. I'm Alan Bahr of Gallant Night Games. You can find me on Twitter at Alan Bahr or at Gallant K Games, gallantnightgames.com, facebook.com/Gallant Night Games, all that yada yada yada. Whatever, Google it. And then we'll go to the side.
Okay.
Hi,
Oh.
Maddie.
Straight across.
Okay, I'm Gina. You can find me on Twitter at Gina Ricker.
I'm Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Loremaster Ryan, and on Instagram is the same thing. And a Man vs. Meeple on YouTube.
And I'm Ashley. You can find me on Instagram as siscat12.
And I'm Maddie Murdoch, and you can find me either on my website at MaddieMurdoch.com or on Twitter at Murdoch_Maddie.
And I think that's
it. That's
our
everyone.
super creepy Tiny Cthulhu session.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got to make sure someone's dead next time you kill them.
I was pretty confident that I shot him 6 times and knifed him twice.
Look,
knew?
you gotta
He was, like,
separate
really
the head
big.
from the body.
And then I
You
wrote
always have to separate the head from the body, or
wrote
burn
him
the
down
body. One of these
adult.
things.
in the Yukon.
I got so many thoughts, but like I had to just keep typing out.
Mm.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to put like a rule in for the community. Get out of hand, everybody.
You should have never invited me if there was a no pun rule. Alan, you know this?
Yeah, that was a bad.
Me who doesn't make fun. I don't have a lot of options.
That's true.
Puns are the best, Alan.
No,
That was
they're not.
really good.
Yeah. Do you know how much it costs, Alan, to install a chimney?
Oh no. Mute him. Quick, mute him. You have the power.
I give up.
Nothing. It's on the house.
Ah,
All right, bye, everybody.
that's a dad joke. Dad.
Yeah, say goodbye
never-
before he boots you.
I'm never coming back.
All right, so Brian, Bailey died off screen.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I fully expected it. Prepared for it 100%.
Well, that was a great session.
That was
and
good. Mhm.
I am coming off
Really
a
good.
bit of an edge there.
Yeah, you had some character moments there that were very true to your character, but then I liked how you got forced to kind of deal with the aftermath of Jameson being Jameson.
Jameson
cool.
being Jameson.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Now he gets to ask the questions. He shot first. Now he gets to ask the questions.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
the hell? That's the question.
The second half of your belief. Mhm.
I mean, people fly from the sky. This isn't unexpected, I guess.
But
I
it
don't-
still is.
I don't just write role playing games. I also role play sometimes. So
Yeah.
Every so often.
once in a while, I get a chance to.
I've learned the more you write them, the less you get to play them. That is a fact.
I'm in 5 weekly games. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're a monster. Like, that's awesome.
Mm.
I am not in 5 weekly games.
I
I'm gonna
used to
fight
be.
mine, but you just make puns. So
I made a pun.
A pun, yes.
A
Yeah.
pun.
Mhm.
come on. Oh, what is this? Oh, so this was session 4 out of 12.
Yeah.
We're a third of the way done.
Yes.
I don't feel like we're a third of the way to being fully creeped out, though. I'm a little concerned about
Yeah.
this ramping graph here.
Mhm.
I'm sure it's going to ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I kind of in my head have divided the campaign into like 3 legs. So this was
Mhm.
like the
Ooh.
first leg where you like set up the problem and all the clues, like the major clues. And then the second part is going to be like you putting all the clues together and like figuring out what is actually going on. And then obviously I think the last 4 will probably, I'm hoping, be like you
Getting
trying
on
to fix what you learned.
Not getting on a train and the nearest town.
I mean, you could do that. You could try.
By shooting it, because if not, I am out of options.
As the GM, did you expect Jameson to kill the NPC Curtis? Were you thinking like,
Well,
I
I
don't-
was expecting you all to attack him. I wasn't expecting you to just
Yeah.
straight out murder him after he started trying to run away.
Run
from you
away.
all.
Well,
You
that's
don't let a man that wants you dead get away.
hmm,
I mean, he never indicated that he wanted you dead.
You tried to burn down a building with my friends in it.
yeah.
there's that word again.
He
You
did
said
do
friends
that.
again. I've heard it twice now.
You know, though, like
You called
The
us
second
your
time was after
friend.
the session. It doesn't count.
any one of us, any one of us probably would have burned that church down if we had the opportunity.
Like,
I was
know.
in it, so I
Molly
don't know
in
that
it.
I would have.
Yeah.
Not while
like-
you were in it, but I mean just in general.
Mhm.
All right. So next week is session 5, and then we're doing
Yeah.
session 6, and then we're gonna take a week off and just have like a talk show. I don't know, clip show episode, I guess.
Flip
without-
show already?
I'm
What?
excited for that.
That'll be
Hey,
fun.
look, what do you want here? We're tapped out. We only get 12 episodes.
We gotta get to, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta have that one episode. It's like every anime ever.
Like a ask me anything sort of thing, right, Alan?
Yeah, we'll do like an AMA where they can ask questions and stuff, and folks can
Yeah,
kind of just participate and do whatever.
that's
So
cool.
Sweet.
we'll put some details up as we get closer. But
Yeah, I can ask him online, but are we 2 days down out of, or just 1 out of Katie's?
yeah,
Yeah, so you can think
It's been
about
24 hours, right?
Yeah, I was trying to remember.
It's been about 24 hours, so she still has 3 days. I think
Okay.
what I'm planning on doing is not to give away anything about what's going to happen in the next episode, but you are all going to have to go out into the wilderness. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of expedite that process to kind of chew up
Ooh.
some of those days so that we're not just like having you sit out, Gina, for like 3 more sessions, because that's not fair.
I mean, it's easy
Well,
to,
I made
can
a
pass.
choice, so yeah. But yeah, you never know how the gameplay is going to go at that point. So I would stick by my choice. So cool, awesome.
Yay.
Thank you.
Awesome, yeah, it was fun.
If I can, really quick, while we are here, this Saturday on the Full Metal RPG Twitch channel, we're doing an actual play of Morkborg.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's going to be the hosts, all of us that can make it, and Christopher Gray is actually going to be with us on that. So yeah, so I'm really excited for that. I'm getting my second vaccination on Friday morning, so if I don't feel well, I'm not going to be there. But if I feel good, then I'll be there with everybody else doing the Morkborg.
I
Awesome.
I have ran Morkborg a couple times. I ran it on +1 XP for them on their Twitch.
Yeah,
And I think every time I ran it, it's a TPK. And
Oh god.
it's rough.
That's what I'm worried about. Yeah. It should be interesting. It's not my normal type of game that I play, but it should be fun.
It's fun though.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, everybody tune in to Full Metal RPG.
Yeah.
What time was that at?
It's going to be 11 a.m. Arizona time is when the pre-show starts, and then at noon, from like noon to 2 is going to be when we actually are playing.
But Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time, so that could mean anything.
I never
It
know
could
what
mean
time it
anything,
is in
yes.
Arizona. I can
Arizona,
never figure
you just
that
have
out.
to guess.
A
Yes.
wibbly
That
wobbly.
is how I feel about it.
I have
Right
two
now, we're on
people-
the same time as California.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I have 2 people in my game on Wednesdays who are from Arizona, and I just don't even bother anymore. I'm just like, this is when I'm starting. If you're there, you're there.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
you do
your
the
job.
math.
That's fair.
Oh, that's awesome. Everybody tune in to Full Metal RPG. They're great. I love the team over there. I've been on the podcast a few times, and I've seen them when I go out to cons in Phoenix. So,
Nice.
Mhm.
yeah,
All right.
they're fine. Whatever. Man. I actually wore their shirt when I ran Morkborg on +1 XP.
That's a good shirt for it. I really feel like that would be a good shirt for
With the
anyone.
most metal shirt I owned, so it made sense.
Yeah, it's true.
Awesome. Well, I think that's us tonight.
Cool beans.
I guess we'll see everybody next week.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I guess one of these days I'm gonna be like, I just can't do it next week. I'm done.
We're taking a break next week.
But next week we're not taking a break. We'll
No.
be here Thursday,
Yeah.
9:30 Eastern, 6:30 PST, which is California time. Also the same time as Arizona, in case anybody
Right
wonders.
now.
Yeah, now
As
we
we
know for
learn.
now.
It will be
For
next week as well.
at least the next week.
Yes.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.